Whoa, what did we just witness here? Wow. Apple didn't want to make a splash with this one. They wanted to create an earth-shattering tsunami with this one. They wanted to enable the power of hardcore professional production and video, music, etc. for the lower end, mid-tier consumer of the iPad. The days of exclusively having the power in $1,000 plus Apple device, $700-800 plus Apple device are over. The days of only being able to get that Magic Keyboard and the really high-end devices are over. This has been a democratizing event for audio and video production on the iPad. There is literally nothing that you are missing with an iPad Air in this new format. You're getting the USB-C. You're getting the processing power. You're getting the accessories, the Magic Keyboards, the newer Apple Pencils. You are missing out on nothing if you get an iPad Air right now. And on top of that, it's got a Touch ID power button. I mean, how cool is that? So does that mean that just like you could with other Touch ID devices, you can now have multiple users in this form factor? Because it's been crazy having Face ID, right? You can't have multiple users. Say it's a community iPad. Now everyone got to know the passcode to the iPad. Whereas with the Touch ID factor, you can let your kids use it, or your family members, or your spouse, or your production partners, or whatever. Just add them to the Touch ID, and now they're able to unlock it and get busy with what it is they want to do on the iPad. So that's a huge feature. One thing I always hated about Face ID was that you didn't get to use multiple faces on it, whereas coming from the Touch ID world, you're able to have multiple fingerprints and things like that. I think the idea initially was so that it could be with two hands, right? Either hand, but it turned out being you could have multiple people all through the Touch ID situation, and that was a really beautiful thing. But this update is incredible. I mean, first of all, let me say this. I really like this format that Apple put together way better than the Auditorium. I think it's way more interesting. It's way more immersive. It's like a professional production. You know, with sports games, they look crazy with the empty stadiums, and this is actually a positive out of the quarantine situation to me. I mean, we got to go inside the labs of Apple where they're developing these CPUs, or it was a really nice little movie set looking thing. I don't know if this is the real lab or just a set, but it looked really cool. I mean, it looked like they're up to some mad evil genius stuff up in there. So it was really cool to get that inside look versus just seeing these people on a stage and, you know, that's it. And did you see the petty barb at the HP laptop? I mean, it's not even fair. It's not even fair. Why would they go so low? I mean, they put this poor little HP laptop just on display for everyone to point and laugh at. I mean, it's like body shaming in the computer world. So Apple, you real petty for that, but I loved it. And the guy was talking about ML computations or complications or whatever it was talking about. But anyways, all I know is it's 10 times faster than the previous Air with that. Pretty incredible. iOS 14 comes out tomorrow. Yeah, it looks really cool, but I'm a little paranoid to upgrade. I'm hearing a lot of stuff is breaking in the music world with that update. And if I'm being totally honest, a lot of the music app developers are not quick to release updates. So my recommendation is do not update if your setup is working and you've got a good workflow and it's working perfectly. Do not update your device. You can cause yourself more pain than you can imagine because you cannot revert back once they close it down. You're stuck where you're at. And man, yeah, you might lose some of your favorite plugins. I think you might even lose the way your DAW works. You might lose a lot, you know? So I just would be very careful with upgrading that. But let's talk some more about this iPad Pro. I mean, I can't even say it right. This iPad Air that goes Pro. I mean, seriously, other than the 3 cameras, what's the difference? It's got a huge update, man. These things got different colors: green, rose gold, sky blue, liquid retina display with 3.8 million pixels. I mean, The iPad Air has a new chip that's more powerful and so small it's challenging the laws of physics. And did he say 6 cores or did he say 4 cores? Is it 6 core CPU, 4 core GPU? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. This is just an instant reaction after it. But all that said, it's 40% faster than the previous generation of iPad Air. I don't know if that's CPU or GPU. I guess we're gonna have to see benchmarks, either of which aren't gonna matter. It's gonna be a huge, huge, huge difference for iPad Air users or any other iPad other than a Pro user that steps into this new iPad Air. I mean, it's really incredible. And the thing that really got me on this one was they incorporated music app developer into the stream. Yes, they always have the video game people. They always have the people who draw really pretty or do graphics or things like that, but they never really have the audio people. And they finally incorporated an audio developer into this. The guy or the people who did DJ Pro, they're on this. And it was really cool to just get their 5-second take on the power of the device. And if there's one thing I'm mad about with the music aspect, I mean, I love DJ Pro, but I feel like, why couldn't we get the development team for GarageBand? Or why couldn't we get the development team for Cubases or ZenBeats or Aria Pro or AudioKit, right? Or any of the guys, or Nano Studio 2, you know, any of the guys that are really on the front lines of the music making development that really can speak to its stability and its power with AUV3s and how many tracks you can record and all the things that music makers really, really need. Why couldn't we get one person that just represented that side of the fence? I also saw a LumaFusion clip in the video, which was really cool to see. Apple's really respecting LumaFusion. That's beautiful to see. But I really wanted a more thorough approach, even if it was just 5 seconds. Just give me one of the guys who develop, or girls or teams or whatever, who develop these beautiful apps that are specifically for music creation, right? Just get them on there to say 5 seconds, oh my God, guys, this is the best iPad I've ever used for music creation. All the limits we used to have are gone now. Just something. And that would have been like, man, money in the bank. Money in the bank. This is a really, really incredible update though. And again, that's no knock on DJ Pro, but I do feel like we missed a breakthrough moment where we could have exposed true iOS music making to the rest of the world instead of just a cute little toy. I mean, DJ Pro is beautiful, it's powerful, it's great, but to some people it could kind of be a toy, just like anything could be a toy to somebody who wants to consider it that. But just overall, I think the iPad is powerful enough for serious, hardcore music making, and I just wish it got represented as such. You know what I'm saying? Just like all this beautiful note taking gets displayed and all these, you know, beautiful keynotes and essays, and you know, they're connecting professional DSLRs up to the iPad through the USB-C port. I just want to see some of that same energy on the music making side with respect to the iPad Air, Pro, whatever iPad they're marketing. I want to see some of the music making aspects of it like they show these other aspects. But this is a step in the right direction, so it looks like hopefully we'll get that soon. But I just want to know, how do you iPad Pro 2020 users feel who spent like over $1,000 or so much money and then they dropped this before the year ended? I mean, if you had no care or concern about those cameras, right? And you don't use LiDAR, right? And you just wanted to be latest and greatest for, I don't know, music making or anything else. How do you feel now that they dropped this iPad Air starting at $599? Are you mad? You know, are you feeling like, dang, if only I just would have waited a few more months, that, you know, I would have had the latest and the greatest and paid less? Or are you feeling like, oh man, you know, mine's is gonna be more powerful than that anyway? Or, you know, how are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're gonna wait for the next iPad Pro? Are you feeling like you're gonna go jump right now on this iPad Air when it drops in October? Is the iPad Air enough for your needs for the next 2 years? Or are you looking like, nah, man, if the iPad Air is really good, then I'm holding out for that iPad Pro. I'm gonna go spend $1,000 again for that iPad Pro. I just wanna know. Another thing they did is they put stereo speakers into it, which is really cool also. So they're giving it that iPad Pro quality of speakers. I didn't know the iPad Air didn't have stereo speakers at this point. I haven't used an iPad Air in a long time. I still own one, but it's kind of just a toy, you know. It's for doing other little tasks on it. I don't really use it for anything serious at all. I might test an app here and there on it, but nonetheless, the fact that it's got stereo speakers is really, really cool. It's got the same form factor as the iPad Pro currently. So it's got me thinking, are they going to change the look of the new next generation iPad Pro so that there's a distinction between these two? Or is it just going to be, this is just what iPad looks like now? So yeah, this thing is pretty incredible. But anyways, that's my initial thoughts on this. I can't play back any of the actual audio from the event. I don't want to, make anybody upset with that. So I won't be doing that, but you can read the captions on all the video so you can at least get an idea of what was said. But nonetheless, this whole thing is incredible. I'm really impressed. I wasn't expecting much out of this event. The Apple Watch stuff was cool, but that's not about audio production. This iPad Air really sets a new precedent for what we can expect going forward from Apple. It looks like they're doubling down. They're now comparing it directly to computers. They're not just comparing it to the tablets anymore. They're comparing it directly to the computers, not the weak computers. No, the comparably priced computers. They want you to know straight up and down, this is outdoing your computer. I like that energy. I like the push. I like the fact that they're making it clear and their stance known. We're here to take your computers from you. We're here to minimize the power of the computer. We're here to uplift the iPad platform, and we going for it all. So I like that energy. And quite honestly, I don't know that with this event, I could have really asked for any more. I feel really, really satisfied with that iPad Air. Now, I'm not gonna lie, watching early on, I felt like, oh, okay, another Apple Watch. Oh, okay, the iPad 8. I wasn't impressed enough that, oh, okay, the pencil and the software can now convert what you write into real typing, and you can copy and paste things across programs. That's another thing I wonder though. Will the copy and paste work across programs that don't support keyboard input? Like a Nano Studio 2 does not support any kind of external keyboard currently, right? So if I type something in Notes, will it automatically be able to be pasted into Nano Studio 2? Because previously that hasn't been the case. So if this is going to be a system-wide kind of update, I think that's pretty dope. But anyways, yeah, that's just a quick update immediately after the event. I have not researched anything that I'm talking about. I just watched the event just like some of you did, and these are just my first initial thoughts. So I'll definitely be doing a video once I'm a little bit better researched on it. But I just want to share this quick update with y'all while it was fresh on my mind. So with that being said, it's iPadbeatmaking.com. Peace.